Hi, it's Mike Stiles from Brand Content Studios. Here's the Content Marketing Quickie for the week ending September 17th. If part of your task as a content strategist is to prove the ROI of content marketing to senior leadership, well, God bless you. The social marketing people have been trying to do that for years. An IDEO study shows marketers are having a really hard time showing those people in ties who rarely understand much that there's a solid connection between content marketing and sales strategy. When asked what their biggest digital marketing pain point is, well, that's it. That's the one. It's not the only one, though. They also mention keeping up with technology advances, keeping up with digital marketing trends. Basically, the problem is everything moves too fast to adopt. A CMI study shows 72% of UK marketers think they should get an F on connecting ROI to content marketing strategy. Rah, rah. Does everyone get their news from the Content Marketing Quickie? Of course, that's why we have tens of listeners. But they also get it from Twitter, which has become quite the little news engine that could. This just in, the American Press Institute says 86% use it for news, 74% use it for that daily, 73% follow specific journalists and commentators, 30% discover the news by looking at what's trending. These Twitter news consumers tend to be younger than the average social media user at 36, single, and with a college degree. Not included in the study is how often users actually click on a story link to get more in-depth details on the story. I'd like to know how many call themselves informed just reading the 140 characters or less. API says journalists should be most active on Twitter around breaking news. Brands, you've got a little work to do when it comes to making users in the APAC region make your content for you for free. A J. Walter Thompson analysis shows they are particularly aware of being asked to do that and don't especially appreciate it. Across the 7 countries studied in APAC, more than 90% consume content online, engage with content, and even make some. But when it comes to doing all that for brands, nah. I know, a big chunk of your content strategy is user-generated content, but among Malaysian respondents, only 8% show any willingness to jump through hoops and make content for one of your campaigns. That number, of course, is even worse if they're not in the market for what you sell. Across the region, 40% actually resent being asked to participate, and 52% think you brands should just entertain and, I know this is crazy, make your own damn content. The report advises people would prefer brands give them something than ask something from them. If you help a post or any content for that matter go viral, do you want credit for helping get it going? I mean, who was the first person to share Gangnam Style? A startup called Startifire is seeking to reveal the people who are helping get the virality going. CEO Oren Barzilai's gang gives you credit whenever a story gets going after your post. Startifire also lets you share custom links on social and in your email newsletters. Then when that link gets spread, a notice saying, shared by whatever your name is, sticks to it. And that's how you get credit. Everyone will see that you're the original sharer, which gets you, well, nothing. But writer Anthony Ha says brands should like it because it incentivizes sharing and might offer more relevant content than the Outbrains and Tabulas of the world. Startifire is already being used by 150 brands like Sequoia Capital. Are you bored out of your mind? Good. That makes you a ripe and ready target for some brand content. Randy Price reports on Digital Content Next that Telefonica research in Barcelona determined when people are bored, they turn to their smartphones to see if there's something on there that can make them feel alive again. These researchers actually developed a machine-based learning model that knows when phone users are bored and pushes content to them. Predictions of boredom were 83% accurate. Isn't that exciting and not boring? Also, the more people are bored, the longer it's been since they'd had any smartphone activity. So when they got content notifications, they engaged. You can see the implications of this, can't you? Ad targeting based on likely boredom and thus highest likelihood of engagement. The Big Orange content marketing world wasn't the only gathering of digital marketers last week. Brafton gives us some takeaways from HubSpot's inbound shindig in Boston. Like sales teams are a part of inbound marketing, so don't forget about them. Brene Brown talked about the value of being vulnerable and how brave that is. Being a career radio host, I can appreciate @JalisDev pointing out how much there is to learn from sports talk radio. The flow of conversation, the economy of words is applicable to good web content. Your site's focus should be user value, so understand what people are doing there and why. And lastly, it was pointed out you can't judge prospects just from their digital signals, that tech has changed how we interact, and you know what? It's not necessarily an improvement. You don't know me. Instagram is the new black, isn't it? Every story you see about it says it's better than this, it beats that, it's growing faster. Well, this time, it's the same story. An Adjust study looked at what people do with apps downloaded through Instagram app install ads and found they do everything the advertiser wants to see. Users spent 70% more time in the app if they downloaded it thanks to an Instagram ad versus some other way. 2 weeks later, they were still using the app 20% longer. Adjust CEO Christian Henschel called these incredibly promising results because Instagram ads are clearly resulting in higher quality app users. Barry Levine reports Social Bakers also did a study and learned Instagram users have a brand engagement rate 50 times higher than on a place like Twitter. I have a chocolate-covered radish store, and I want to serve up digital video ads, but only to people who live within a certain distance from my store. Then I should look at YASHI, because they let businesses pinpoint themselves and create an advertising radius around themselves. Of course, it will also target a zip code, DMA, state, region, or the whole country, and it's got retargeting all day. YASHI looks at over 65 billion impressions per month, then lets marketers choose which impressions they want to target based on things like interests, purchase intent, demographics, contextual targeting, weather targeting, device targeting, and of course, geographic targeting. A campaign they ran for one client led to an 80.57% view-through rate and 0.32% click-through rate, beating all the goals. And by the way, a chocolate-covered radish is the perfect way to say, you're sweet, but I care about your health. Marketing is a matter of winning trust, but people give or withhold their trust differently depending on their age. An Equity Group study says 29% of 18 to 22s and 32% of 23 to 30s feel that Facebook is the most trusted source of brand content. Only 16% of baby boomers feel that way. They're more likely to trust good old print or online news. Matthew Schwartz reports on O'Dwyer's that you shouldn't count TV out either. For those who tried something new because of a campaign or ad on different media, TV ranks tops at 57%. Then comes print magazines or newspapers at 38% and social at 34%. And not to send you blogger types into a deep funk because I'm a blogger and I don't want to get funky, blogs and Snapchat were really, really low on the list. The report says TV and print advertising still own the market as key influencers. 23% of all ages cop to being influenced by stuff in news outlets, print and online, that's written by a brand. They said they wouldn't do it. There were all kinds of very valid reasons they said they didn't want to do it, but now we hear right from Mark Zuckerberg himself that Facebook is working on a new dislike button. Okay, so here are some of the reasons it hasn't happened up to now. It breeds negativity on the platform. It's a new way for people to get harassed and bullied. And you brands who've paid to get your content seen on Facebook probably don't want an open door for users to take shots at you. What the dislike feature will do is give Facebook insight into what kind of stuff people don't like. How would they use that info? Likely to adjust what's visible in news feeds. That might sound good, but if you have an opinion outside of popular opinion, your freedom of speech is likely to not quite be as seen. Most folks in the know seriously doubt dislikers of a post will be publicly named, as happens with likes. Then users could drive others into the shadows and not even have their names revealed. Isn't that great? Livefire is on fire with a Y, forming partnerships with some of the biggest of the big. We're talking Salesforce and Adobe. With Salesforce, they're integrating their platforms so users can easily get content from their social and use it in all kinds of other marketing ways. A Livefire component sits right in the Salesforce Community Cloud with drag-and-drop functionality. Livefire CEO Jordan Kretschmer says communities are the connective tissue between brands and customers. Lisa Hoover-McGreevy reports that with Adobe, you can better use content from Adobe Experience Manager and Adobe Creative Cloud for more personalized experiences on sites and mobile apps at what Adobe's Lonnie Stark calls unprecedented velocity. An app is popular, you buy an ad in it. By the time your ad runs, the app has fallen in the app charts. Your boss calls you in and says, "Hey, why can't you know the future, loser?" Mobile video startup Vungle has done a lot, but CEO Zane Jaffer says what they'd never done was take the scenario I just scenarioed and account for the fact that app charts are ever changing. So now there's Vungle Premium, a private programmatic marketplace for you advanced ad buyers. Each app's appeal to marketers is scored based on things like reach and conversion rates. Then the top apps of the moment are factored in, which can be filtered in various ways depending on what you want and what you care about. Well, some advertiser had to be the first to use it, and this time it's digital agency Essence. Their Jolie Jeffrey says handpicking apps from the billboard keeps audiences relevant as apps come and go. That's it. The transcript to this is at brandcontentstudios.com.